I just shot somebody.
Hey guys, I'm Micah. This is TactiCalifornia. Thank you so much for tuning in. And today we're asking the question, what do you do right after you shoot somebody in self-defense? Now, I started asking myself this question a lot, particularly after, in case you didn't know, I just got a CCW recently, and I've been carrying, and I'm really starting to think about, obviously situational awareness. We're testing gear. We're making sure that all this stuff's going to go right for us in the middle of a potential bad situation, like a gunfight or self-defense encounter, something like that, right? We're afraid that this stuff's going to happen. I should say we're cautious that these things are going to happen, and we want to make sure that everything is stacked in our favor, which is great. But we need to make sure we're taking care of ourselves after that potential situation happens. That's why I got insurance, okay? No, this is not a paid endorsement. No, the company that I got insurance from doesn't even know I'm making this video. I'm paying out of my own pocket for it. But I really think it's something that all of us need to consider that carry a gun or even have guns for home defense. This insurance, USCCA, is probably one of the best insurance policies you can get out there. So why do I say we need insurance? I'll give you three main reasons. One, we're all likely to incriminate ourselves without proper representation. Two, we simply can't afford it. We cannot afford what's at stake, I mean financially, when this happens. And three, it's never black and white. It's never gonna be super simple and easy. You're not gonna be able to represent yourself. So let's go over these three reasons. Reason number one, we're likely to incriminate ourselves. You're likely to incriminate yourself, and I'm likely to incriminate myself without proper legal representation. Why do I believe this? Well, it's obvious. If you look at a lot of self-defense cases that have happened, particularly in the past 10 years or so, the very first statement you give to law enforcement officers when they arrive on scene is something that is often used in court of law against the defendant. So you really need to make sure that what you're saying is exactly what you need to say, and you're not saying anything you don't need to say. Another reason we're likely to incriminate ourselves is the Fifth Amendment. Our founding fathers put the Fifth Amendment in place for a very specific reason, okay? It's not there just willy-nilly. They knew that we are likely to incriminate ourselves and that we don't have to. We are not required to incriminate ourselves by being a witness against ourselves. So the less you tell before you've contacted your attorney, probably the better off you're gonna be in the long run. So how does this misinformation get around? Well, adrenaline, stress, and surprise all lend themselves to being misinterpreted in our brains. I watched a recent study on the Learning Channel, I believe, where they were asking the question, is Bigfoot real? And they had eyewitness testimonies of people who had seen Bigfoot out in the wild. And they wanted to know why these people were seeing this, even though nobody else was seeing it. So what they did, it was a really cool test. They had people drive through a very dark, dim lit, wooded area in their vehicle, and they had things pop up and surprise them, and signs that were posted. And at the end of this little trek that they do in their car, they were quizzed about it at the very end. Most if not all of the people who drove through that situation gave completely wrong information. They said, for example, there was a cardboard silhouette of like a Bigfoot-like creature that pops up, right? Just kind of springboards up. And a lot of the people who saw it, who were driving through, said it was like 10 feet tall. Some people said it was 15 feet tall. And the reality was it was only 6 feet tall. So right then and there, the brain couldn't compute. It was under so much stress, it couldn't compute. Why is that? Because we have fight or flight mode it wired into us. Survival mode takes over. And when survival mode takes over, if it perceives something as a threat, a real threat, it will amplify it. It will say, oh my gosh, there's a threat. And you'll amplify what you think is happening in order for your brain to tell the rest of your body to either fight or flee. So when that fight or flight happens, our adrenaline is pumping, our stress is up, and we can misinterpret things. It's really important we don't share our misinterpretations. That's only gonna convolute the situation. It's only gonna hurt you in the long run when there is a legal battle, which will happen. Now, there's countless defense lawyers out there, and I'm not going to get into each and every one because I could sit here and quote them forever, but a large majority of criminal defense attorneys will tell you, keep your mouth shut. Do not speak to police. If something happens and there's in any way the likelihood that somebody's going to try to portray what you did as a criminal act, don't speak. Say, I'm more than happy to cooperate 100% as soon as I talk to my attorney, and say no more, okay? It's really important. Again, there's countless criminal defense attorneys who all say the same thing. Do not speak until I give you the permission to speak and exactly what to say. So reason number one, the fact that we are likely to incriminate ourselves, that gets solved with this insurance. And how does it get solved? It's simple. They have a really advanced, well-organized legal team that's going to help you keep your mouth shut. They also give you these really nifty cards to hand to law enforcement that basically says, I do not consent to searches. Yes, this was self-defense. Please leave me alone until I contact my attorney. And it really helps you out so you don't have to sit there and just babble and incriminate yourself, unfortunately, should it happen. Reason number two, we all need this insurance. We simply can't afford it. That's the reality. I don't know about you guys, but I don't have money just sitting in an account waiting for something bad to happen. I don't have that, okay? Let's talk about this a little bit more in depth. Attorney retainer fees, okay? The reality is just to retain an attorney costs money. Now, I did a recent search, and what I was able to find was actually really broad, anywhere from $1,500 all the way up to $55,000 for an attorney retainer fee. There's other instant legal fees, that you will be paying, okay? This insurance solves that by giving you up to at least the plan I have, $125,000 in instant fees. They will put that money in your bank and you can use it for attorney retainers, for upfront legal fees, all that kind of stuff. That is killer. That solves that issue. Another one we don't think about very often, but is very real, is the fact that you're going to be missing work. While you're in court defending yourself because of something that you should have done anyway, it was the right thing to do, but now you're in court, you're missing work. That's just the reality of it. We're all going to be missing work, and if you're missing work, you're not making money, and that's hurting you big time. This insurance, the policy again that I have, pays me $500 a day that I am in court defending myself so that I'm not missing that income. I don't know about you guys, but that's pretty darn cool. And not a lot of insurances cover that, down to that types of specifics. So it's really cool to have that coverage. Probably the most obvious expense that we simply can't afford when it comes to shooting someone in self-defense is obviously the lawsuit. There's gonna be a lawsuit. You're gonna get sued in civil court. It's just gonna happen. It's a fact. If you look at everything that's gone on, all these defensive shootings, even like the high profile ones, people are getting sued left and right. It's just a reality of defending yourself lawfully. Okay, you legally defended yourself. It was all justifiable homicide, all that kind of stuff, and it doesn't matter. You're gonna get sued. This insurance plan, the one I have, which is the Platinum Plus plan, gives me $1,125,000 of civil liability coverage. If I get sued for that amount, they can pay that amount. That's insane, guys. That's money none of us have. We do not have that kind of money sitting around. The fact that that covers us there, huge, and it definitely helps us afford the situation. And for me, it takes a lot of the hesitation out of drawing that gun should I need to, knowing that I have this kind of coverage. The third and final reason we all need insurance like this is that it's never black and white. If we look at really controversial self-defense encounters here in the United States as well as worldwide, you'll quickly discover that it's gray, it's murky, it's cloudy, it's hazy, it's anything but black and white, okay? A great example of this, Trayvon Martin, okay? We all know this case well. We followed it, we watched it on TV, and everybody had a different opinion of what happened. Why? Because it wasn't black and white. Yes, it was ultimately determined that it was self-defense, but man, it was a long trial. Everyone had a different opinion. There were people standing up and shouting and screaming that it was, wasn't self-defense. And there's people saying, yes, it was self-defense. It was just crazy. It's never black and white, okay? So that's one reason that we can think of. Look at those cases and understand it's just not black and white. Another thing that taught me that black and white just isn't a reality is going through a training simulator. When I did my CCW classes, I went through a ridiculously awesome training simulator. And it instantly taught me that it's never black and white. You're walking along, minding your own business, and all of a sudden, a dude drops down off of a 10-foot, concrete wall right in front of you, and he's staring you in the face, and he's got a gun lower in his hand. That's not black and white. I don't know if that guy's a law enforcement officer, if he's an undercover agent in a foot pursuit. I don't know if he's a kid playing an airsoft game, and I don't know if he's a perpetrator that's about to shoot me. I don't know. It's not black and white. Also, we don't dictate when this is going to happen. We do not get to choose when it happens or what happens. Because we don't control these things, we have to plan for the worst possible cases. What this insurance does to alleviate the fact that it's never black and white, it's simple. They give you expert defense attorneys as well as expert defense witnesses that can corroborate what exactly constitutes self-defense and look at your case and apply that and show the jury, show the judge just exactly how what you did was justifiable homicide, should it have actually been justifiable homicide. So those 3 reasons are why I definitely recommend getting some sort of insurance. What I got, again, USCCA, great coverage, even coverage for things we don't think about. Firearms theft. Let's say my firearms get stolen. I'm covered. Let's say I don't defend myself with my gun, but I use a knife or my hands. I'm covered. I really like this insurance, guys. I got the Platinum Plus plan, which is the highest tier they offer. It's $30 a month. That's something we can all afford, right? And it really covers you should anything bad happen or come your way. So please just consider getting insurance of some kind. It doesn't have to be this brand or this tier or whatever. Just know that it's really important that we are covered to some extent so that we don't go through this battle on our own. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you like this video, please click like down below and subscribe to the channel for more videos we got coming your way on CCW tips and gun reviews. I'm Micah with TactiCalifornia. Thanks for watching.